Hey everyone, my name is Yograj Sikka. I am student of Center for Global Education at SIT331 University in collaboration with Deakin University of Melbourne, Australia. Today I am demonstrating my task 4.2c, which is repository pattern and object relation mapping of SIT331, which is full stack development, secure backend applications. So basically, in this task, we had made various things like improving the persistent layer of robot controller API by applying the repository pattern to it, dependency injection, dependency inversion, and a simple form of object relational mapping, which is also called an ORM. So in my previous task, I had done the things very differently and very quietly. So let's discuss the task sheet and what is given in the task sheet here. So this is my current task sheet for this task. So basically in this task, we had to do the implementation of repository pattern in the persistent layer, as well as we had to explain that the repository are classes that trap or encapsulate the data access logic in it. If you can say in simple words, the repository become the middle layer between the controller and our database, which is PostgreSQL here. So this makes the database code more organized, more proper, and the more finished, reduce direct dependency between the application and the database, so that they will be loosely coupled with each other. So this task also explains that in this task we need to decouple that code further, because coupling is the very bad form of doing the coding in the backend. So we are doing the loose coupling here. So in this we had to directly manipulate with the SQL data readers. That works, but as a project becomes bigger, manual reading columns that are using the npg SQL data reader as well. So again and again this become repetitive and easy to break. So this asks us to use the repository and the basic ORM feature or the style to approach map database into the C# objects, or the C# objects automatically they will fetch the data from their database with the help of C# language. So the technology required here for this task is to use the fast member. Here we are making a file using the extension method of the fast member. This task says that the fast member is used to fast ORM solution after directly reading the SQL data reader from there, access it, and it asks us to install the .NET add package fastmember.signed version, which is version 1.5.0. So we had to also download that. So this task also requires us to follow the dependency inversion as well, and as well as we had to use the dependency injection as well, so that the controller should not create the database classes directly over there, and instead controller should use for an interface, and the ASP.NET Core will inject the real implementation at the runtime over there. So after that, this task sheet specifically tells that we need to extract the interfaces from the old data accesses databases and the interface classes, so that the different implementation can be plugged together and work together through the dependency management over there. So our main implementation is to first convert the older static database access classes into non-classic databases or classes. Second, extract interfaces such as iRobot command data access and IMAP data access. Then we had to keep the ADO version as the robot command ADO and map.ado. Fourth, we had to create a new repository versions called robot command repository and the map repository. And then we had to create a common interface classes, that is iRepository, with a generic execute reader over there. And the sixth, similar we had to build an extension method called map2 using the fast member to automatically map database columns to C# properties directly. After that, we had to configure everything in the program.cs using the dependency injection over there. So basically I will show you my project overview over there, and the project structure. So as you can see, my structure are so as you can see, there are some important folders such as controllers, in which there are my two controllers, map controller and the robot controller. Then there are models there. Then there is the two models over there, the map.cs and the robot command. After that, in the persistence layer, you can see the various folders like extension method, IMAP data access, IMAP command, robot command data access, map ADOs, map repository, normal repository, which is for repository, robot command ADOs, and the program.cs. So this is a simple way in which the client sends the request through through a swagger or the postman. Here in this particular task we are using the postman or insomnia. The request goes to controller. The controller calls an interface. The interface point to an either an ADO.NET class or the repository class. Then this talks to PostgreSQL and the result came back as the C# object, which will be shown over there. And the controller returns the file in the JSON format to the client over there. So let's discuss about the models. So the first model here is the map robot command.cs. So basically while it is loading, let's discuss about it. This is a class represent one robot command from database. For example, a command like move, left, right, stop, etc. And the name has its properties like id, name, description. Is move command, create date, modify date. We had used UTC because of if someone change the data from any part of the world, it will be changed over there and shown over there. So id is unique identifier of the command, name is the command name, description is our extra information. Is command is a boolean value that tells whether the user has command actually moves the robot or not over there. After that, create data, modified data. So this model is important because the ADO.NET implementation and the repository implementation return data is the robot command.cs over there. And similarly for the map.cs, it is also similar from the robot command.cs. Then let's discuss about the robot command. Then let's discuss about the controllers. So while the controllers are loading, the controller handles all the API requests over there and relate to the robot command, and then the root is API/robot commands over there. So when a user call get/API/robot command, this controller handles the request. So a request in that particular area. And the important point is that the controller does not directly create robot command ADOs. It just gives the command to the repository, and then instead doing this thing, it will change the command. This command will change the data from the database, so that we had the loose coupling between controllers and the database, so that they have the access to each other with the help of using the robot command data access interfaces classes, which is basically used for loose coupling over there. So this is to remove the dependency, and with the help of this we are doing with the help of using the dependency injection over there. So some endpoints we had created in it are like get all robot command, get robot command by id, get move command, add robot, update robot, delete robot, etc. over there. And similarly for the maps as well, we had done many things. So now let's discuss the interface classes. So basically the interface classes are nothing, just a contract or a rule book over there. It says any class that wants to be used as a robot command data access must provide these methods given over there: get maps, get map by id, add map, update map, delete map, etc. So after that, let's move on to the further. And similarly the same thing is doing with the robot command data access as well, because these all things are similar to similar kind of things to each other. Then let's discuss our ADO.NET. So basically ADOs are older .NET implementations. Let's firstly discuss robot command ADOs. So these classes are implement the interfaces classes directly over there. For example, robot command ADO, and this thing is doing this work over there to fetch the data. So this means the robot command promise to all provide all the methods to robot command, which is our interface classes. So ADO is the low level database access method where we had to manually do everything like open a database connection, create SQL commands, execute the command, use npg SQL data reader to read the rows over there, so that the manually copy each and everything to the C#. Like for example, robot command ADO, when we get all robot command, it will go from select star from or all the command, like this command will be run over there in the database, so that it will return our so this will return the things to ourselves. So basically this is the whole thing in which we are doing this. So let's discuss about other files as well. Firstly, let's discuss the extension method as well, which is very important for this task. So basically in this task we had to given that we had to use the data reader logic, which was repeated from the endpoint to endpoint to reduce the repetitions over there. So this task asks us to introduce a common repository interface with the default implementation for executing a data reader and the mapping database rows to each other. So this is important part because it is a generic type. In simple T means the method which can work in the model, in any model over there. So basically this is for used for that purpose, for reading the data from and mapping the data to the C# object model. So now let's discuss about the program.cs, which is very important file in which we had done all the configuration over there. So basically this is our program.cs file. So this task explains that this file explains that the controller depends on interfaces. There is no need to change the endpoint logic. We're switching from ADOs classes to the repository classes over there, so we do not have to change anything in this. In this we had implemented service registration as well, and done many things as well. We had commanded all the things, all the http redirection, all the using authorization map controller, everything to it, so that this will become a good working project. So let's open the postman or the insomnia, in which we had made the collection as well. So let's run the collection and show you the things. So basically this is my connection. So in robot commands I had make the many endpoints like delete, put, post, get command, get all robot commands, get but command by id, delete map, get all map, put update map, post add map, get map by id, and all the tests are running successfully, and test 10 out of 10 tests are running successfully. So this is the whole from my side. Thank you, have a nice day.